Hello, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 18th of March. So today is our third class for the balance exercise series. Thanks for being here, and I hope you've enjoyed the last two classes. If you are new today, not to worry, we will review some of the main concepts we went over in the last 2 weeks, so I'll catch you up. This class is meant to be a progressive class, meaning that as the weeks go on, we do want to build on the exercises and the materials that we've gone through in the previous classes. But like I mentioned, I will do a review, so not to worry if you are new today and you haven't done the previous classes. Now, because it is a balance exercise class, our entire class is going to be in standing because we do want to perturb your balance in order to improve on it. So all of the exercises we do will be involving with standing exercises, but of course, because it is a balance class, we want to be extra careful. I don't want anyone to fall. And so if you are feeling unsteady at any point in the class, I do welcome you to hold on to something sturdy, like the back of a chair, as you can see I've got a chair here, or perhaps a table, a kitchen counter, whatever you've got that you can hold on to if you ever did need to save your balance. Now, in the previous weeks, we spoke about how when we're working on balance, in the simplest terms, we're essentially trying to keep our center of gravity on top of our base of support, which is our feet. And so this is what we're going to do a lot in the class. We're going to be moving our base of support in various different ways, and we're going to try to keep our center of gravity on top of our moving base of support at all times. And so with falls, we of course want to try to mitigate the falls as much as possible. We want to save our balance as much as possible, but there are times when falls are not 100% preventable. We can't prevent all falls, of course. For example, you might be walking down the street and you might slip on some ice, or you might be walking your dog and your dog is pulling off somewhere. And so there are times when falls can't be prevented, but as much as possible, we want to try and mitigate the falls and get strategies in place to help us save our balance as much as possible. And so I suppose in a nutshell, if you are trying to maintain balance, you're always thinking about where your center of gravity is in relation to your base of support. You're always trying to keep your center of gravity within your base of support in order to stop yourself from falling. So bear that in mind as we go through the class today. Now, you will need a tissue box or something around the same size of a tissue box for our class today. We're going to do a little bit of target stepping. So if you don't have a tissue box, you can use maybe like a slipper, a shoe. You can even use a book if you want, but ideally, whatever object you're using, you do not want it to be something you can break. So if you accidentally stepped on the box or your shoe, it's no big deal. But if you put like a vase on the floor and it's made out of glass, we probably don't want that, because if you tripped and fell or you stepped on it wrong, you might hurt yourself. So whatever object you're using as a target, ideally a tissue box, because it's soft and if you step on it, doesn't really matter. But if you are using something other than a tissue box, just make sure whatever object it is, it's not going to be something that hurts you if you did step on it. Okay, but we'll set that aside for the moment because we're not going to use it just yet, but we want to have it handy for when we do get to the target stepping part of the exercise class. Okay, that's enough talking for me. I'm going to stand up and I'll just make sure my screen is nice and bright. I'm going to stand up and we'll start with our warm-up. So with our warm-up today, we're going to do the same thing as we did in previous weeks. We're going to do some weight shifting. Now, let me turn sideways for a second. For those who may be new today, let's talk about our posture before we start. So in previous weeks, I talked about how we really want to think about standing tall and strong over our base of support, because if we're in a position like this and we're always moving in this position, my center of gravity is already very far forward in front of my base of support. So then I end up falling in a certain direction because my base of support is not actually directly underneath my center of gravity. Does that sort of make sense? Whereas if I'm like this, my center of gravity is right in the middle of my feet. But if I'm like this, my center of gravity is more forward, and it's more likely that I'll fall. So as we're standing here, I want to invite you to think about pressing the soles of your feet deep into the ground, almost like you're standing in some sticky mud, and you really want to press every single wrinkle, fold of your skin into the ground so it's a perfect imprint of how the sole of your feet looks in the mud. And you're pushing your feet deep into the earth as if you're growing roots at the same time. Meanwhile, you're also going to think about lengthening up through the spine, like someone's grabbed your head and they're pulling it up towards the ceiling. So the crown of the head is reaching, lengthening towards the ceiling. And this is the posture alignment that we're always going to go back to where we're checking in with how we're standing. And we want to make sure we're doing this long, extended position, not just upwards, but downwards into the floor as well. So we're really activating our trunk and our legs, and we're supporting this nice, tall posture. In this position, I want you to sway forward and back over your base of support. Like you're an inverted pendulum, we're weight shifting to the fronts of the feet, and then we're weight shifting to the back of the feet. And so as I'm doing this, I'm playing around with my center of gravity and how far I can move my center of gravity over my base of support without losing my balance or having to take a step to save my balance. So I really want to think about keeping my weight over my base of support as I'm doing this. And I'm going to invite you here, if you've been here before and today's not your first class, I'm going to invite you to see if you can close your eyes and do this. And really feel where your center of gravity is in relation to your base of support, your feet. And of course, be very careful if you are closing your eyes. I don't want you to fall. So if you need to grab hold of something beside you, you're more than welcome to do so. But I really want you to sense where your center of gravity is in relation to your base of support, in this case, your feet. The reason I say in this case is because your base of support might not always be your feet. If you're, for example, leaning on a counter, your base of support is now changed to your feet and your hand on that counter. So your base of support will be wider in that case. But of course, in our class, our base of support is our feet. Keep going. I'm just going to let someone in from the waiting room. You're thinking about going as far as you can in each direction without having to take a step to save your balance. So we don't want to actually go outside of our base of support. We want to stay within the limits of your base of support, but you're going as far as you can in each direction. And hopefully you're still standing tall. Keep going. I'm just going to turn to face you for a second. You can keep your eyes closed if you're doing the eyes closed version. I'm now going to invite you to see if you can go side to side. You're going to weight shift side to side. And as we're doing this, I want you to check in with your posture. Are we leaning forward or are we standing up nice and tall, thinking about that lengthening through the spine, your spine being pulled up towards the ceiling, but also down towards the floor. You're being pulled in both directions. And just like before, you're thinking about your body like an inverted pendulum, and you're weight shifting from side to side, and you're trying to go as far as you can without falling outside of your base of support. Because remember, to stay balanced, we have to keep our center of gravity on top of our base of support. Otherwise, we will tumble in the direction of where our center of gravity is going. You'll probably notice going side to side is much easier than if you were to go forwards and back. And that's simply because your base of support is much wider when you go side to side. Your base of support now is both of your feet. You're thinking about for example, the width between your feet, that's your base of support. But when you go forward and backwards, like we did earlier, the base of support was only the length of your foot, because your feet, you're moving forwards and back. So the length of your actual foot was the base of support in that case, whereas now it's wider. Let's take this a step further. You can keep your eyes closed if you like. We're going to try drawing a big circle. We're going to draw a big circle now in the same weight shift pattern. And as we're drawing the circle, you really want to make sure you're going for a circle and not an oval or a square or a diamond. You want it to be round. You're going round, not just forward and back or side to side. You're doing a big circle. And at the same time, you're thinking about that lengthening through the spine we talked about. You're being pulled upwards, but at the same time, pressing your feet down into the earth. You're being stretched from both ends. And you're playing around again with how far you can move your center of gravity over your base of support without losing your balance. Of course, eyes closed is optional, so don't feel like you have to close your eyes. You're more than welcome to open them if it helps you. Let's go in the other direction. So whichever direction you were going before for your circle, you're going to reverse that. And just like before, you're thinking about a round circle, a big round circle, not an oval, not a diamond, not any other shape. You're going for a circle. You're going round if possible. And still thinking about that posture, pulling yourself up towards the ceiling, pressing your feet deep into the ground so you're being pulled in both directions in order to lengthen your posture. Nicely done. Last one. We're going to now write our first and last name using this weight shift method we're doing. And you're going to try to write each letter of your name as big as you possibly can without your center of gravity falling outside of your base of support. So without you actually falling or having to take a step to save your balance. So you're doing the same weight shift pattern, writing your first and last name as big as you can, still maintaining that tall, lengthened posture. You're not just reaching up to the ceiling with the crown of your head, but you're also pressing your feet deep into the ground. So you're being stretched on both ends. Like a tall pencil, tall thin pencil, you're being pulled in both directions. Good. Well done, everybody. Ooh, everyone's looking great. Okay, when you finish your name, we're going to stop here and you can open your eyes if you have them closed. Let's move on to our clock face stepping now. So you're going to pretend you're standing in the middle of a gigantic clock face. Okay, so you're smack in the middle of a giant clock. So in that case, 12 o'clock will be directly in front of you. 6 o'clock will be directly behind you because you're in the middle of the clock face. 3 o'clock will be to your right, and 9 o'clock will be to your left. Just a side note here, my video might be flipped in terms of image on your screen. So for example, here, this is my right, but this might look like your left, and vice versa. So if my picture is not flipped properly on your screen, it might be best not to follow me on this one, but more listen to the instructions so it doesn't get you confused. Okay, so again, 12 o'clock is in front of you, 6 o'clock is behind you, 3 o'clock is to your right, and 9 o'clock is to your left, plus all the numbers in between. Make sense so far? We're in the middle of a giant clock face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a random number on the clock, for example, 2 o'clock, and you're going to take a step onto the 2 o'clock direction and come back. So make sure when you're stepping, we're not doing these little steps. We're going for a big step. Imagine the clock face is massive, a huge, huge clock face. So you want to step as far as you can. Let's do another example. If I said 9 o'clock, you would take a step onto the 9 o'clock position and come back. Make sense? Okay. So we'll start a bit slow and we'll slowly get a little bit faster, but I'm going to say different numbers and you're going to step on the number with either your right or left leg, whatever is easier. For me, everything on the right side of the clock, I'm going to use my right leg. Everything on the left side of the clock, I'm going to use my left leg. And then 12 and 6, smack in the middle is up to you, whichever one you want to do. So let's try. 12 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Remember, big step. 7 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Whoops. Hopefully you didn't step on something just like I did. 11 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Big step. 4 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 6 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 2 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 11 o'clock. 6 o'clock. 12 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 6 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 3. Okay, let's stop for a second. How do we do? Are you all still with me? I hope so. Okay, so with this one, sometimes what you might find you're tempted to do as you're stepping is you might do this big, beautiful step. And then on the way back, you might find that you're like this, kind of doing these little shuffle steps to come back. So when you step out, it's really important that when you step back in, it's a very distinct one step rather than multiple little steps coming in. And so what you really want to do is when you step on the leg, you're of course transferring your weight. What you want to do here is you want to use that leg to push you back to the middle, really push with that leg, push the floor away, which will then propel you back to the middle versus doing a big, beautiful step and then having to do multiple steps like this to come back in. Not that anybody was doing it like that, I'm exaggerating, but the whole point is we really, really want there to be this additional strength building component where we're using our leg muscles to push us back in. So we're going to do that again, but now we're going to add on slightly. So this time, when we do our clock face stepping, you're going to do a squat before every number. For example, if I said 12 o'clock, you're going to do this, a squat and then 12 o'clock. If I said 9 o'clock, you would do a squat and then 9 o'clock. So we added a squat before every number. And now, when you're doing a squat, I want you to try to imagine you're about to sit down in a chair as much as possible. So from the side, we don't want to just be doing this with our knees. This is a completely different exercise. But what we want to do is you want to imagine there's a chair. So pretend this is an invisible chair behind me. So it's like every time you squat down, it's almost as if you're about to sit down and then you went, never mind. And then you stood back up. So you want your bottom to be going back. You want your bottom to be going back as your chest comes forward. So you're kind of in this diagonal position, if you will, long through the spine, and then you stand back up. So really using these bum muscles to help us in this case, because every time we squat down, when you stand up, you're gonna squeeze your bum cheeks and push your hip forward to help you stand up. So we wanna do a squat before every step we take. Okay, let's try. Ready? 2 o'clock. So remember, we're doing a squat, and then 2 o'clock, big push back to the middle. 6 o'clock, do a squat. 6 o'clock, big push back to the middle. 9 o'clock, big push back to the middle. Nicely done. 4 o'clock. You're really thinking about transferring your center of gravity, your weight, on top of your moving base of support. 10 o'clock. Big push. 4 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Remember to sink your bottom nice and low. Again, let's do 3 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Big push. 12 o'clock. Stepped on my paper here. 7 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Remember to squeeze your bum cheeks as you come up from the squat. 11 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Okay, let's stop for a second. We're going to do that again, last round, but this time we're going to add in a bit of a pulse in our squatting. So from the side, if you look at me, when I squat down, what I mean by pulse is this, kind of like your little basketball and you're bouncing up and down. That's what it is, but we're not using our backs, right? You're using the legs, like you're pushing the floor, like you've got springs in your legs. So here's the catch. Depending on what number I give you, that's how many times you're going to pulse. For example, if I said 2, you're going to squat down and you're going to pulse 2 times. 1, 2, and then you step on the number 2 and come back in. If I said 9, you're going to squat down and pulse 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then step on the 9 and come back in. Sort of make sense? Hopefully. I'm going to pull down the blinds so you can see this. I think it's getting a little too bright. Whoops. Okay, how's that? Better. Okay. Are we ready? So you're pulsing for the number of times of the number that I'm saying. Okay, let's try. Let's go for 3 o'clock. Pulsing for 1, 2, 3. Step out to 3. Big push back in. 6 o'clock. Pulsing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Step back to 6 o'clock. Big push back in. Let's go for 7 o'clock. Coming down, pulsing for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step to the 7 o'clock spot and come back in. We're going for 10 o'clock. Pulsing for 10. Use your legs. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step on the 10 o'clock. Good. Let's go for 5 o'clock. Pulsing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step on the 5 o'clock. Good. 11 o'clock. Pulsing for 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 11 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Pulsing 1. Step on the 1 o'clock. Good. Keep going. 8 o'clock. Pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step on the 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Pulsing for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step on the 9 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Pulsing for 4, 3, 2, 1. Step on the 4 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Pulsing for 1, 2. Step on the 2 o'clock. And rest. Woo, let's shake out our legs. Very well done. How's everyone doing? Let me come forward and check there are no questions. Oh, someone in the waiting room. Okay. Let's let this person in. Okay, well done everybody so far. Hopefully your legs are nice and warm. Okay, let's grab a chair or something to move on to. We're going to move on to some strengthening of our hips before we come back to more balance exercises. So whatever object you're using to hold on to, ideally you want it to have no wheels. So last week I had my computer chair and I had mentioned to ignore the wheels. So now I have a non-wheel chair in this room to demonstrate today. So whatever you're using, make sure it's sturdy. It's not going to slide away from you. Okay, we're going to stand nice and tall. We're going to hold on to a chair, a table, whatever you're using, and we're going to do some donkey kicks. So it looks like this. I'm lifting up my leg and I'm going to kick behind me with my heel. So it's almost like there's something behind you and you're kicking that object far away from you. So we're not kicking here. We're not doing this at the ground. We're lifting and we're kicking back behind us. You're thinking back behind you. Now the catch is, as I'm doing this, can you see my trunk is the same? My trunk is not doing this. I'm exaggerating, no one's doing it like that, but the point is I'm holding my trunk still like I'm a statue. The only thing moving is that leg. So I'm really using this bottom muscle, this muscle right here and here to help me with this position. So I'm not adding my back to it. I'm keeping my back nice and still, not moving, just that leg. Okay, so we're going to do just one side first, and then I'll talk you through the additions to that. Okay, you ready? Nice and tall. Think about that lengthening through the spine we talked about earlier. Here we go. Lift that knee, and you're kicking back. Bring your knee up and kick it back, and just keep going. You're thinking about keeping your back nice and still. You're using your bottom muscle in order to help you bring that leg back, not your back muscles. We're not using our back muscles to help us. We're using our butt muscles here. Good, keep going. You're thinking about kicking behind you, not down at before, behind you. Behind, yes, good, nicely done. On the next one, you're gonna hold it and we're gonna do a big pulse like this. Watch me, I'm going down and up, down and up. And the whole time my foot is not touching the floor. I'm not touching down at the floor at all. I'm just pulsing. Join me here. I'm just pulsing, no touching down. Keep your trunk nice and still. We're only using our butt muscles here, our bottom muscles, to help us do this lift. Good, keep going. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up, hold the leg up. We're gonna now bend our knee and kick our bottom if we can. Keep that knee up behind you. We're gonna kick our bottom, keep the knee up. Try to kick your bottom. Keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. Shake out your legs. Nicely done. You might have felt a little bit of a burning on the standing leg, and that's okay too. And we'll turn around. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side, starting with our donkey kicks. Really important that we keep our trunk still. You can lean forward a little bit, but you're still lengthening through your trunk. Okay, here we go. Knee up, kick back. So you're doing your other leg. Whatever leg you didn't do before, that's the one you're doing. Keep your back still. So I see a couple of you doing this with your back. Keep your back still. Really brace your tummy muscles. Don't let the curve of your back increase or decrease as you're doing this. Keep your back still. Kicking back. Using your bottom muscles. Using your bottom muscles. Keep your back still. Maybe lean forward a bit with your back if it helps. Nicely done. Take that leg back. Back. That's it. Keep your trunk nice and still. Don't curve your back. Good. On the next one, we're going to hold it up. And we're going to pulse. We're going to go down and up. Down and up. Don't let the leg touch the floor. Don't let it touch the floor. Down and up. Down and up. Keep your back still. Don't let your back curve forward or hunch forward. Keep it completely still like a statue. Well done. We go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up. Hold that knee up. You're going to kick your bottom with that knee still up in the air. Kick, 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 kick. Good. Keep going. Nicely done. Keep that knee up. We go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shake it out. Nicely done, everybody. Good job. Okay. Let's go. We're going to hold on to whatever furniture you're using on the side, and you're going to lean towards the furniture a little bit, and we're actually going to do some side lifts now. So if you look at my legs for a second, I'm leaning this way, and my other leg is going to stick out. So I'm touching my toes on the floor, and what I'm going to do here is keeping my knee and my foot facing forward. My knees and toes are facing you. I'm going to go up and down, up and down. And the entire time I'm doing this, my foot is not touching the floor. Let me roll up the bottom of my pants so you can see my knee. So here's my kneecap. It's facing you. And the entire time it's facing you. So I'm not doing this. I'm not turning my leg. I'm keeping my knee facing you the entire time. Join me here. So you're leaning to the side. Lean away from that leg as you lift, and noticing that my trunk is still. I don't want to be doing this. I want to keep my trunk completely still on an angle, kind of like I'm a statue. Nothing is moving. Just that leg. Don't let it touch the floor. It's hovering. It comes down and is hovering. Yes, well done. Keep your knee facing forward. Lean away. Don't let that foot touch the ground. It's lifting and hovering. We go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't let it touch the floor. We're going to lift up and tap in front. Lift up and tap behind. So it's like you're drawing a semicircle. You're going up, behind, up, in front. More like a triangle, I guess. Up, behind, up, in front. Don't let that foot land on the floor. The toes are just barely grazing the floor, and you're leaning away still. Keep going up, tap in the front, up, tap behind, good, up, tap in front, up, tap behind. We go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take it out. Nicely done. Okay, we're going to move on to the other side. I'm going to roll up my pants on the other side so you can see my knee. Same as before, you're holding on to a furniture or whatever sturdy object you're using, and you're leaning to the sides. You're leaning towards whatever support you're using, keeping your kneecap and your toes facing forward. You're going to go lift and hover. Don't let it actually touch the ground. Hover, lift and hover, lift and hover. Lean right over, lift and hover. Good. Nicely done. Lean right over. Keep your trunk still. Up and hover. Up and hover. Yes, very good. Keep your knees and toes facing forward. Don't let your leg turn. That's it. Lift and hover. Everything is still as a statue except for that leg. We go 10, 9. Don't let it touch the floor. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't let it touch the floor. We go up. Tap in front. Up. Tap behind like you're drawing a triangle. Up. Tap in front. Up. Tap behind. Up. Tap in front. Keep leaning over. Up. Tap behind. Knees forward. Good. Keep going. Tap behind. We go 10, 9. We go up and over. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. And take out those legs. Very, very well done. How are we doing? Let me just check. There's no questions in the chat box. Okay, well, we're still standing, so that's good. Okay. So we're going to put our chairs away now. And I'm going to get you to grab your tissue box. So we're going to practice some target stepping today, or I suppose over the target stepping. So I'm turning sideways and you can see me. I'm going to put the tissue box down in front of me. So you can see this one here. This is my box. I'm putting it down in front of me like so. So I'm not putting it down a really far distance. So that's way too far. I want it to be maybe about a hand's width in front of my feet. So like that, it'll be in front of my feet by about a hand's width, maybe a little bit more, but not too much more than that. And here's what we're going to do. I'll show you the legs first. We're going to stomp over the box and come back. Other leg. stomp over the box, and come back. So your goal here is not to touch the box. You have to go over the box and over the box on your way back. I'm stepping over the box, and I don't want it to look like this, like a fall. We want to be very distinct and purposeful with our stepping. So I'm lifting my leg nice and high, and I'm stomping down like there's cockroaches on the floor, and you're stomping, and then you're lifting and stomping again. If you can't stomp because of any knee injuries or things like that, that's okay, but still be very distinct with your lift and step, even if you're not stomping, okay? But if you can stomp, join me. Now, we're gonna add in the arms. As we're doing this, we're gonna reach opposite arm to leg, like this. Stop, look at my arms. Can you see opposite arm to leg? And you can see my fingers on both hands are splayed, wide open, like I'm reaching for something in front and behind. I'm holding my balance for a second or two, and then I'm gonna go big push to stomp back in. Same through the other side. I'm going stomp. I'm reaching opposite arm to leg. I'm really splaying my fingers. Imagine there's $1 million taped on the wall in front of you and behind, and we want both. So reaching, and stomp. Okay? So we go stomp. Reach opposite arm to leg, reach, and stomp back in. So join me if you haven't already. Whoops, I'm just gonna close this pop-up that came up. Okay. So keep going. We're gonna go stomp, reaching opposite arm to leg. Hold that balance for a second or two. Stomp back. Make sure you're clearing the tissue box. Big stomp over the box. Reaching those arms and back. Again, we go stomp. Hold that balance. Hold, and then come back. So we don't want to go too quick. We want there to be an element of hold and in. Stop, hold that balance, hold, and then come in. Good, nicely done. Stop, hold, and in. Make sure it's opposite arm to leg. If this is too easy, you might need to move your tissue box target a little bit further away from you. Good, nicely done. Make sure you're going over the tissue box, not around. You want to go over the tissue box when you step forward and when you step back. Reach those arms, reach, like someone's pulling you to the front of the room and to the back of the room. Reach. Good, keep going. We do 10 more. 9. Reach, spread the fingers. 8. 5. Make sure you lift the back arm. 4. Splay the fingers and reach. 3. Reach behind you as well. Last 2. Last 1. And rest for a second. Okay, we're going to leave the tissue box where it is. We're now going to stand in front of the tissue box. As you can probably guess what we're doing now. We're going to do the same thing, but now we're stepping backwards. Now, backward stepping will be more challenging, so just be careful. If you're worried about falling back, you might want to do this closer to a wall behind you, just so in case you did go back, the wall will catch you and stop you from falling. But just be careful with this one. So just like before, I'm going to stomp over the box, not around, but over. I'm going over the box and I'm holding my position, and same thing as before, my opposite arm to leg. So I see somebody using the same arm and leg. Make sure the same arm, the arm forward, is the opposite arm to that front leg. And we step over, come back in. Same to the other side. Step over, reaching your arms. You're imagining there's $1 million taped on the wall in front of you and behind you, and you're reaching for both. And step. Okay, and again, we go stop, reach opposite arm to leg, go, 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 reach, 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 and stop. As big of a step as you can take. Go, stop, reach opposite arm to leg. Good, nicely done. Keep going in your own pace. Just make sure you're stepping over the box, not around. You're going over the top of the box, not around. Nicely done. Try not to touch the box if you can. You're stepping over the top of the box. Bigger with your step if possible. The bigger your step, the better, because we really want to make sure whatever step we're taking, we're catching our center of gravity smack in the middle of it. Otherwise, you'll fall backwards. So remember, to keep our balance at all times, we want to have our center of gravity to be in the middle of our base of support in order for us to keep balance. Nicely done, everybody. Let's do last 5. Reach, swing the fingers. 4. Nicely done, everybody. 3. 2. You're going over the box, not around. Last 1. Reach the arms. And rest. Okay. We're not moving the tissue box just yet. We're keeping it here because now we're going to put those two things together. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the tissue box beside my foot. So from the front, it looks like this. I'm putting the tissue box right where my foot would be. See how it's right beside my right foot? And this left leg is going to be the one that's moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and over the box forward, reaching opposite arm to leg, up and over the box backwards. So on the front, or sorry, on the side, so you can see, it looks like this. I'm going up and over, forward, push, up and over, back, push, up and over, forward, up and over, back. So join me here if you haven't already. Make sure you're moving opposite arm to leg. Don't touch the tissue box. You want to go up and over the tissue box. Lift up and over the tissue box. Lift up and over the tissue box. If the arms are too confusing, take out the arms and just do the legs. That's okay. If the arms are really throwing you off, take them out and just do the legs. But the entire time you're doing this, you can see my trunk is on top of my moving base of support. Can you see that? My trunk is on top of my moving base of support because that's how I keep balance. Good, nicely done. Remember, if you can't do the arms with the legs, that's okay. Take out the arms. Just do the legs. But either way, you're thinking about lifting up and over the tissue box, not around, up and over. Yes, good. Let's do 5 more in your own time. Going up and over as big as you can. Nicely done. When you've done 5, we'll stop for a second and we'll do the other side. Same thing on the other side. So now my other leg is going to be the one lifting up. And I'm going to go up and over, reaching opposite arm to leg. Up and over. As big as I can, moving big. Remember, if the arms are too confusing, you're welcome to just ignore the arms and just concentrate on the legs, as long as you're really working on this up and over the tissue box. And I'm keeping my center of gravity on top of my moving base of support. Because like we mentioned earlier, this is one of the ways you keep balance, by keeping your center of gravity on top of your base of support. And you're doing this big step, big up and over movement. Of course, if there are times when you can't keep your center of gravity on top of your base of support, then you would move your base of support in order to catch your center of gravity. Keep going. For example, if I'm going to fall forward, keep going. If I'm going to fall forward, I take a big step in the direction I'm falling, and then I catch my center of gravity in between my base of support. Same thing, if I were to fall backwards, and I took a big step in the direction I'm falling, I'm now catching my center of gravity in the middle of my base of support. So taking these big steps is a really important preventative technique. For if you ever did lose your balance, you basically want to take a big step in whichever direction you're falling towards to try to save your balance. Good. Last three. Do three more in your own time with this up and over. Big step. Good. Nicely done, everybody. And let's rest. We're going to move the tissue box. We're going to now work on a little bit of turning. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our legs nice and wide and our arms nice and wide. I want you to imagine you're like a sea star. So those sea stars, you can see that their arms are always out, and you're going to imagine you're a dried sea star. So you're very stiff. So we're not going to be wiggly. We're going to be very stiff. And your entire body, whoops, let me move over. And your entire body is going to tip from side to side. But as I'm doing this, can you see my entire body is going in one piece? I'm bringing my shoulders over my supporting leg to help me stay balanced. So I'm really leaning to either side. So I have a moment of balance to either side. What I don't want to do is this. If I did this, can you see my trunk is pretty much in the middle of my base of support? So I'm not actually moving my trunk over to either side. So I really want to think about me as a sea star. I'm a dried out sea star. So I'm going to be really stiff and not wiggly. So we don't want to be like this, but we want the entire body to be stiff and moving in one piece like that. So we want the entire body to go right over each of our legs, and noticing how my legs are nice and wide. So what I'm not doing is I'm not doing this. I'm not kicking my legs out to the side. I'm keeping the legs in this orientation the entire time, and it's like someone's grabbed me in the middle and they're just tipping me from side to side, and I'm a stiff sea star. That's it. So make sure we're not lifting that leg. We're keeping the legs in the same orientation. The entire body is moving from side to side, leaning right over. You might feel a little bit of burning on the sides of your hips, which is completely normal, and in fact, that's great. So keep going. We're going to lean from side to side. Keep your legs wide, wide. And then when you're ready, see if you can take the same position, the same technique, but we're now going to turn 90 degrees to one side. So exactly the same technique. You're a stiff sea star, but now you're just going 90 degrees turn to one side, and then you come back to the front. And then you do 90 degrees to the other side. Think about that stiff sea star. We're not going to start kicking our legs out or moving our arms in different positions. You want, if I took random pictures of you as you were doing this, you want every single picture to pretty much look exactly the same in terms of your positioning. Keep those legs wide. Keep going 90 degrees to either side. Good, nicely done. If you need a break, feel free to take a break. Sometimes you can get that burning sensation in your hips or maybe in your arms even from lifting them up so high. You're trying to lean. You're leaning to either side. Good, nicely done, everybody. Really lean to either side, 90-degree turn in both directions. Good, let's shake it out. We'll rest. Ooh, shake out those arms, shake out those legs. Hopefully you felt a little bit of burning on the outside of your hips. That's what I would like, but if not, that's okay too. Okay, our next exercise, we're going to do a little bit of pivoting practice, and we're actually taking this exercise from the PD Warrior syllabus, if anyone knows the PD Warrior framework. We're going to start with the legs about shoulder width apart. The toes are going to point forward, I'm going to clasp my hands together in front of me. And this exercise is from P Warrior and it's called 007. As the name implies, 007, like James Bond, and you'll probably see in a second why. But we're going to reach our arms forward, our toes are pointing forward, and watch me for a second. I'm going to pivot to the side. See how my toes and my knees are pointing the direction I'm going? Yeah. And then I'm going to pivot back to the front. Same to the other side. I'm going to pivot. My toes and my knees are facing the direction I'm going, and I'm going to pivot back to the front. If you take a look at my feet for a second, ignore my arms, I want you to imagine the balls of your feet are bolted into the floor. So I can't lift them. I don't want to be like this, right? I don't want to be lifting them off the ground. I want to keep them on the floor. So in fact, I'm going to be swiveling on the balls of my feet. Can you see that? It's almost like I'm putting weight on the balls of my feet. I'm lifting up. The balls of my feet are bolted into the floor, so I'm swiveling on top of them. And that's how I'm getting my knees and my toes to be facing the direction that I'm going. And the reason it's called 007 is because it's like you're holding a gun, if you will, and you're like James Bond. You're kind of pivoting to the side and you're finding your target. And so we want to be really precise with this movement. You're going to pivot, hold that balance. Pivot, hold. And you want your toes and your knees to be facing the direction that you're going. Join me here if you haven't already. Try to see if you can pivot on the balls of your feet. You're staying tall. So don't let yourself hunch forward like this. We want to be nice and tall. Your aim is directly in front of you. That's it, directly in front of you. Nice and tall. That's it. Pivot on the balls of your feet. Try not to go on your heels because that might throw you off balance more. And try not to lift your feet up. And once you get the hang of this, I'm going to invite you to be as sharp as you can, so you can watch me for a second. Rather than me going like this, I'm now going to go sharp, hold, sharp, hold, sharp, hold. This is, of course, optional, but the sharper you make the movement, the more challenging it is to hold your balance. But of course, you don't have to. You're more than welcome to do it smoother and slower if you like. Keep going. You can join me here. If you want to go sharp, go sharp. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Either version is absolutely fine. You do what feels good on you, but also what challenges you. So you don't have to force yourself to do the sharp version if you prefer to stay with the first version. It's up to you. But you'll find that the sharper you go, the more perturbed your balance will feel and the more challenging it's going to be for you to maintain that balance. Good job, everybody. Oh my goodness, look at us. We can all be spies after this. You keep going, chest up, make sure you're not leaning forward, nice and tall. Good, well done, everybody. Good, as sharp as you can for the last 4. Wherever you are, do 4 in your own time. If you're doing the sharp version, make it as sharp as you can. Good, once you've done 4, you can rest, shake out your arms, shake out your legs. Just gonna make sure there are no questions. Okay, it's already 12 o'clock. Really quickly, we're gonna do a little bit of a trunk stretch and we're done. So arms forward. All we're going to do here is we're going to open back and twist and clap back. So we're just going to twist with your legs nice and wide. Just twisting your trunk on the spot. Nicely done. I feel like sometimes in these classes, I always end up going over by a few minutes because there's so much I want to do with you, but so little time. But I'm hoping that the exercise we do in this class will be helpful. I'm mainly trying to get us to really focus on where our center of gravity is in relation to our base of support in order to help us be a little more aware of how we're moving in order to maintain balance. Good. And rest. All right, everyone. Very well done. You are all finished. I hope you've enjoyed that class, and I hope you've learned something, but hopefully you're also tired. Thank you, everyone. Very, very well done. You can give yourselves a round of applause. You did so good today. I am very impressed, and I will see you next week. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye
Shannon.
for now.